Super Mayhem.
Hello friends, Tim here again from Super Mayhem, and apparently I'm still sort of stuck in Halloween mode. Not really though, as Resident Evil 2 is an absolutely awesome game, and I was hoping to stream it on Halloween night. However, technical difficulties got the better of me, so you know, it didn't happen. Anyway, survival horror games don't need to be limited to October 31st, right? Plus there is a new remake of the game coming in the winds of 2019, so what better time than now to take a look at this game? So off we go with some random awesome facts, stats, and any other interesting bits and pieces from the now cult classic Resident Evil 2. Don't forget to smash that thumbs up button if you're a fan of the Resident Evil series, or just a fan of video game facts in general too. So, first off, was there a machine this game wasn't ported to? Originally released in January 21st, 1998, this masterpiece was available on the classic Sony PlayStation, the Nintendo 64, the GameCube, PC, Game.com, and even the Dreamcast saw a release. Capcom really wanted you to play this game, I think, no matter what your console of choice was. In fact, there was even a Tiger 99X standalone handheld version of the game, which was released alongside the PlayStation version. It's pretty much a light clone of the Game.com release, which Tiger also made. Surprisingly, this little handheld version of the game was the first to incorporate a multiplayer function. It allowed players to connect two of the game systems with a connection cable and compete for a high score. Weird for a Resident Evil game, that's for sure. The Nintendo 64 version of Resident Evil 2 was a little bit special as well. It's the only version of the game to have exclusive content with the X-Files. No, don't go calling Mulder and Scully. These files actually tie into other games from the Resident Evil series, such as the first game, Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, and even the at the time unreleased Resident Evil 0, Resident Evil Code Veronica, and Resident Evil Outbreak. They also mention a couple of locations from some non-canon radio dramas too, but we will get to those in a minute. Also hiding in the N64 version is a dead hunter in the B4F Culture Room. This is the only hunter to appear in Resident Evil 2. As I mentioned in my Halloween video games video, Resident Evil is known as Biohazard in Japan, which makes this game known as Biohazard 2 in that island nation in the Pacific Ocean. Interestingly, and exclusively to Japan, the story of Resident Evil 2 was continued in two radio dramas called Chisana Tobosha Sherry, which translates to Sherry the Little Runaway, and Aikieta Onna Spy Ada, which is translated to Ada the Female Spy is Alive. Whilst it's cool they exist, both of these aren't canon though. Also in the Japanese version of the game, the death scene animations are hidden. Only the sound effects and the "You died" text are shown whilst the screen fades to black. There is also a little bit of a mix-up in the US instruction manual as well. In the original Japanese PlayStation version of the game, there was a ranking system from S to D, whilst the US edition ranked from A to E. In the US manual, however, it still says it's possible to get an S rank because the manual is a direct translation from Japanese. So that's something for my mate Gaming Pea Shooter, who loves to give me a rank when I stream. The game itself takes place 2 months after the original Resident Evil, for those of you that like timelines, and sees the player choosing either Leon S. Kennedy or Claire Redfield to return to Raccoon City, or rather escape from Raccoon City after its citizens are transformed into zombies by a biological weapon. Damn that Umbrella Corporation. The game itself stays true to the original and has you solving puzzles and fighting the various gory monsters that live in this fictional city. It's pretty tense stuff. If you're a fan of zombie movies as well as zombie video games, you just might have heard of George A. Romero, who actually made the original live-action TV commercials for Resident Evil 2. He was meant to go on to direct the first of the Resident Evil movies, but instead that honour was given to Paul W.S. Anderson. It would have been interesting to see what Romero would have done with the characters in the movie, like Mila Jovovich. There are a few interesting facts about the protagonist in this game though. For a start, Claire's standard jacket has the same words and logo as Chris's alternate outfit in the first Resident Evil. The logo reads, "Made in Heaven." I'm not sure if this is some weird hat tip to Nintendo's translation of "Leave Luck to Heaven," but I'd like to think so. There is also some interesting early artwork of Leon that is quite cool. This picture shows him with a faithful bloodhound. This was never mentioned after this early concept drawing, so it's safe to say this didn't become canon. But this would have been a super cool addition to the game if you could send your dog after zombies or something. During a 1998 developer interview with Hideki Kamiya, who was the director, and Noboru Sugimura, who was the writer, it was also revealed that Leon was originally going to start the game in civilian clothing. In fact, there was even a plan to have him change into his police uniform when he meets Marvin at the police station. Noboru Sugimura even quotes, "It's true that with Raccoon City destroyed, the police wouldn't be actively on duty, so there'd be no real reason for Leon to change into his uniform. But we wanted to show his determination to protect both the city and his principles by having him change into his uniform regardless. It was a scene with a lot of meaning." Unfortunately, due to a problem with the CG, it got cut. Speaking of Marvin Branagh, there is a scene in the police station on Scenario A where one can see the name tag on the locker which reads Jojo. There is a little bit of a debate as to whether this name was referencing a dog or not, but it's kind of believed that this is a reference to the anime JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Another theory is that it's a hat tip to Capcom's JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, released in 1998, which actually came out in the same year as Resident Evil 2 did. For those of you that don't know, there was actually a Resident Evil 1.5 concept game. It was just an early build of Resident Evil 2, but producer Shinji Mikami dubbed it 1.5 after it was shown at the V-Jump Festival in 1996 in July. Naturally, the gameplay differed drastically from the released version in its scenario, presentation, and even the gameplay mechanics. One interesting fact about the protagonist remains, however. In this 1.5 version of the game, the main female character was supposed to be Elsa Walker. In the final cut of the game though, she was of course replaced with the now beloved Claire Redfield. Maybe Elsa got chased away by a zombie or something? I don't know. This 1.5 version of Resident Evil also had some other big changes in it. For example, the gun shop owner Robert Kendo and police officer Marvin Branagh had much larger parts in the game. Robert Kendo helped Elsa Walker out, and Marvin even accompanied Leon and Ada throughout his story. Marvin even gets infected with a virus, and you have to find him a cure. As we know in the final cut of the game, both of these characters die pretty early on, and you even have to kill Marvin once he becomes a zombie in the A scenario. Poor bugger, he could have been a bigger star. Speaking of taken out characters, it was originally planned to have another surviving member of RPD found in the game, named Roy or nicknamed DJ. Interestingly, he is the only known character that was not redesigned, had a name change, or was replaced. In fact, he was just scrapped from the game completely. During Scenario A, have you ever noticed the store in the background named Akura's? Believe it or not, this is actually a hat tip to the Street Fighter series, which has a character in it named Sakura Kasugano. Another cool thing hiding is a once spawning zombie. In normal mode, if you get to the Raccoon City Police Department without picking any items up, this zombie wearing camouflage pants and a yellow vest will appear in the back alley of the department. It is speculated that this zombie is actually the helicopter pilot from the first Resident Evil, known as Brad Vickers. And finally we end with a couple of neat little Easter eggs here. This one lies in Albert Wesker's leftmost desk in the STARS office. Normally if you search it you will get a message that it has been searched by someone else already. However, if you search it 50 times in a row for some reason, you will be able to obtain a roll of film that when developed will show a photo labelled Recruit of Rebecca Chambers from the first game wearing a basketball outfit for some reason. Why this is in his desk we'll never know. Another Easter egg hiding is that at any time your character is facing the camera, you can actually shoot bullet holes in the screen. Pretty neat, hey? And that's it for today, friends. I really hope you enjoyed reliving some Resident Evil 2 with me and these facts. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new to Super Mayhem. Smash that thumbs up button if you can, as it really helps the channel out. Leave a comment below about anything really, and I'll catch you soon. A huge thanks to Jacob Clark for being our first Mayhem supporter. Without the likes of him, I wouldn't be running. If you want to join the team, please consider taking a look at our Patreon page in the description below, for your chance to get some exclusive behind the scenes looks at Super Mayhem, and even access to some sweet downloads.